Hi everybody, this is Garden Devotions again, and I just wanted to give you an update on the Thrive order that I had because it's been exactly a week now. So I wanted to let you know what my findings were at this point. I started with a Taste of Thrive box, which had 9 containers in it, and then I ordered 2 others that I really wanted to taste to see what they were like. So I have 11, and I want to go through how much I have left. I've eaten mostly the Thrive products, except for my breakfast, which I have oatmeal in the mornings. But other than that, I have made things out of these for about a week now. Now, today, my parents took me for lunch, so I ate fast food, which, to be honest, I'd rather have this stuff because the fast food just tastes so, I don't know, greasy and I don't feel as good after eating it. So let me tell you what I've got going here. First of all, one of the main products, is the Thrive chopped chicken. And a lot of people I saw in the reviews online, oh, it's wonderful, it's wonderful. Okay, I gotta tell you, I'm not real fond of the taste. It's okay, but it does not taste like fresh chicken. Okay, when you cook it, it does not taste like you just chopped up chicken breast and put it in there. There's a little bit of a different flavor to it, and it really doesn't have much of a flavor at all. So I wouldn't recommend eating it on, by itself, rehydrating it and eating it plain. But when it's in stuff, it's pretty good. I mean, you don't notice it so much. And the texture really is kind of like regular chicken. And you don't have to cook it. You don't have to chop it. Yeah, it's a whole lot easier to make. So I can see myself getting this, maybe getting the seasoned chicken strips. I think maybe I'd like to try those instead, because I think they're like fajita type things to make fajitas and things. So, and they are seasoned. So I think maybe I would get that. But this wasn't too bad if I put a bouillon cube in with it, a chicken bouillon cube, and, salt and pepper. It was much better that way. So it's just chicken. I mean, there's nothing else in here. So some salt definitely will help. Anyway, it's very convenient though. I would get it again just because of the convenience. I grab a handful of the other stuff, put it all in a pot, a little bit of water, and some sauce, and I've got a meal. And it doesn't take me very long at all, really. So I'll talk about that in a minute as to what I made with the different ingredients, but I want to go through all the ingredients and tell you what I've got left. Like I said, I've been eating on this all week pretty much. I have this much left. There's a lot of powder in the bottom because the product gets kind of, it's the settling of it, but that is powdered chicken, so it will work really well. What I have left, I plan on putting in a soup. And I had about 14 meals off of this so far, so this would make meal number 15. Plus I also gave some to my brother for a meal, so probably 16 out of this. Now it says half cup servings, and that there are 7 half-cup servings in here. I guess maybe I just didn't use a full half cup because I just grab a handful, and that's what I would put in. So that's how I cooked. Why bother with the measuring things? Okay, so that was one primary ingredient. And I'm not going in order. I should have put them in order. But celery is another primary ingredient that I would definitely buy again. I was a little surprised because it's not crisp like the other freeze-dried. But what I like about the celery is it is all chopped up. Now, I used a lot of celery because I used it in most of the dishes that I made to give it some flavor, because I really like the celery flavor. So I do have some left. But I probably, if I were going to get this again, I would get a big container just because I use a lot of celery. But as you can see, there's still quite a bit left. I mean, did I show you really good? See, there's still quite a bit left in there, enough for a few more meals. So I'm not out of it by any means, but yeah, I would definitely buy this again because Celery ends up going bad in my refrigerator before I can use it. And frankly, a lot of times I avoid putting it in because it's just too much work. You have to clean it. You have to, you have to cut it. You have to cut off the bad ends and the stalk, the end of the stalk and stuff. And it just ends up being more work than it's worth. This way, I grabbed a handful, tossed it in, and I had a lot of celery. I could incorporate it in my dishes. So I really like that. The next thing, if you get anything with Thrive, get these chopped onions. I am not kidding you. They are very flavorful. When you open it, if you like raw onions, they're really pretty strong. Now for me, I'm not a fan of raw onions, so I would try to cook them a little, and it was just like a few seconds. I like to take some of that pre-cooked bacon, because Aldi's has it fairly inexpensively for a container of it for like 12 strips. And I get that and put it, slice it into small pieces and toss it in the bottom of my pan and put in a pinch of these. And then I would, by the time I got ready, the next ingredient ready, it was done. So it just needed a little bit. Now I got to tell you, this is hard for you to see probably, but I have used like just that much. I mean, seriously, that much of this can so far. And I have used it for every meal. Again, not breakfast, but every meal I have put some onions in it, usually 2 or 3 pinches of onions in every meal that I made. So this is going to last me personally for probably 2 months, maybe even 3 months, this whole container. So it was well worth the money for this container. I like that. And I want to point that out to you because several of these items, more than half of what I had in my box are things that, like this, that I can't make a whole meal out of, but I use it, and I would use it in every meal if I had it available. So, and it will last me for a couple months. So that makes the price really go down on a box like this. I think for all of these products that I'm going to show you, the total was like $126 and something like that. I was close to that. So it was, it seemed like a lot of money, but I really do feel like I got a lot of food. And I realize it's only been a week, but and the chicken is gone, which is one of the more expensive ones. Of course, the meats usually are $20 to $25 for a container. But there are things like this then that I get that will last me for a very long time. So you reduce the costs in things like this. And speaking of things like that, I also have milk, and it tastes like powdered milk, a good powdered milk. I mean, it doesn't taste bad at all. It tastes pretty good, but it does have a powdered milk taste to it. If you leave it in the refrigerator for a while after you've mixed it up and let it chill a little bit, it will have less of that flavor and more of a regular milk flavor. But I usually use cold water and put it in my bullet blender and zipped it up real fast to eat. And it's really great to also put the fruits in here and just add a little bit more nutrition to your diet. If I had different vegetables, I could also put vegetables in there to make a kind of smoothie. I don't have ice sitting around, so I can't do the smoothie officially, but that would work too. Anyway, it's nice to have on hand because I don't keep regular milk in my refrigerator because I just don't drink enough of it. It goes bad. I can't. It's waste. It's a waste when I buy it. I don't drink a lot of milk. Plus, it seems like the powdered milk doesn't give me the digestive issues that regular milk does. And I don't know why that is. If I drank a lot of it, probably it might, but it really doesn't. So this is a win, definitely. It was good. Anyway, so that's a good one. One of the things, the corn. I got to show you the corn. I really like the corn. It's great to snack on out of the container, and it's good to use. Now, I don't have much corn left, but enough for one more meal. And I did give some of this to my brother as well because he really likes corn. So I put together a Ziploc bag that had some chicken, celery, the corn, the onions, and this red sauce right here, the tomato powder sauce. And so all he had to do was put a cup and a half of water in it and let it warm up, and probably it will thicken with the sauce will thicken if he lets it simmer just a little bit, and it'll be done probably in 5 minutes. It would be done, maybe a little longer because of the chicken. So I told him I wasn't really sure, because I've never put it all together like that in a bag and just then dumped it all in together. Usually what I would do is take the chicken, the celery, and the onions and put them in the pot with a slice of bacon, like I said, chopped up, and a cup and a half of water. And I bring it to a boil and shut it off, put a plate over the top or a lid so it could rehydrate, and then I'd go do something for a half an hour. And then I'd come back and I put in the sauce. I'd heat it up again and put in this powdered sauce, and it would thicken up. And then I could pour it over like mashed potatoes or rice or potatoes, or anything like that, quinoa if you wanted to, anything along those lines. This would work really well. This is a definite yes again for me. This is wonderful, and I really want to get the other sauces they have. They have 4 total, and I want to get one of each because, again, I used very little of this for the whole week, and it's going to last me for a couple months. But it's perfect. I mean, it's really great for making something into a special meal. So that's a definite again for me. And let's see, what's the corn? The corn's a definite for me, by the way. In fact, I would like to get the big container of the corn. I had two fruits that came with it. I had the strawberries and the peaches. The peaches are now gone. There's dust in here and the oxygen absorber, but yeah, the peaches are gone. So I'm going to use the dust I'll mix it up with the milk and some strawberries, and it'll be good. The strawberries are left. Not that I don't like strawberries. I really like strawberries. My brother said he liked the strawberries better than the peaches, actually. But the strawberries are so intense. I can only eat a few of them at a time because they are just so full of flavor. So that's why, it's not that I don't like the strawberries. I really do. But the peaches seem to, they still had tons of flavor. They were very delicious. But maybe because they were not quite as powerful as the strawberries. I don't know. But I like them both. Okay? I would definitely do both. Again. And I got the slices instead of the full fruit because I think they're easier to eat as a snack. That's just my opinion. And you can crumble them up a little easier than if you had the full piece of fruit. That's my thinking on it. Okay. So, let's see. If I can organize these a little different. This one still has stuff in it. The onion still has stuff in it. The milk still has a bunch in it. And then this is the peanut flour. What I did with the peanut flour is I could sprinkle it over, like have a bagel or an English muffin with some butter on it, and then sprinkle some of this on there. And then sprinkle some of this on there. The honey crystals, really good together. These two are good together. In fact, I have not done this, rehydrated it like it tells you to on there. I haven't done that yet because I sprinkle it on stuff. I put it in my oatmeal. Yeah, I can put this in my oatmeal too. So that's why I really, really wanted the peanut flour. All it is roasted peanuts. That's the ingredients, roasted peanuts. It's just ground up. And it's like a very powdery texture. The honey crystals don't taste plain like total honey. They kind of taste like a cross between honey and maybe molasses or brown sugar. But they're good. They're very good. So what I did one night, I took these two and I put them, I did my chicken with the onions and the celery, and then I came back and instead of using the red sauce, the tomato sauce, I made a sauce out of these and the milk and a little cornstarch, and it came together really well. It was a honey peanut butter chicken. It was good, really good. I will do that again. And then I put it over some pasta. So that was a really good meal. I like that a lot. Okay, and these again are full. They have half full. Well, the honey crystals, I gave some to my brother too, so it's about half full. I probably use more of them than I would normally, just because I really like the taste and I'm getting used to it. The peanut flour, I have barely cracked it. I mean, I've hardly used any of the peanut flour. It's really good. So again, these right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those 5 I have used. I'll put these up there. These 5 I still have enough for another 2 or 3 weeks. So those aren't totally done yet. The other one that I have is cookie dough. Now I do have a sweet tooth, so I've used about half of the cookie dough. I found out, now the recipe on here does not tell you how to do it individually. So I found out if I took about 3 or 4 spoonfuls, like heaping spoonfuls, and put kind of a spoon of butter in there, and then just a little bit of water to make the texture, right. I could make 2 or 3 cookies individually. So I've used about half of that just because they're really good. They're very vanilla-y. Okay, they don't have chocolate chips in there. You'd have to add the chocolate chips. But you could also use the same base for putting in some peanut butter or the peanut flour, or putting in like some oatmeal or something along those lines. So I could see you using this base to make a lot of different kinds of cookies. And I really like this as well. It's handy for me because if you get, I do like cookies every once in a while. It's kind of nice, a nice little treat. But if I get cookie dough to have, the rolls of things in the refrigerator, it goes bad before I can get to all of it. Or if I get a box mix, then, it's open and it just, it's not good because it's really hard to make just little bits when you live by yourself. I don't want the whole thing of cookies because that's what the recipe on here is for. It's for the whole thing. So I just want a couple cookies at night or something, after a meal. I just want a couple of cookies for dessert. So that's what that is. Okay? And that one also is half full. So look at this. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things that are still half full. I've had a week. These are pretty empty. Not totally. I've got enough for another meal. So they've taken me through a week. If I had all of these in vegetables and fruits, I would probably easily be able to eat off of just the Thrive. Well, with my oatmeal in the morning. I'm not going to give that up. But I could probably eat off this easily for 2 weeks. If these it's not that they're not edible. It's just they're not edible in the same way. These are things that you're going to invest in so you can use them over a period of time. Okay? The ones, these up here were the ones that are consumed a little faster because you can use them for every meal. And like, for instance, not every meal had honey crystals. Not every meal had milk. And so you can see that. Anyway, so this is a thumbs up. I have already made my next order. I figure on these that really my budget for food is about $50 to $60 a week. Maybe $75 if, I need a bunch of the staples. But with a little bit of flour or a little bit of butter or oil and maybe some eggs or something along those lines, I could eat for definitely 2 weeks on this $100 or so of food. So I think it was a good investment of my food money. I did go to Aldi's yesterday and I got $18 worth of food, which was, it was more like the bread products. You can make Thrive bread, like they have yeast and bread flour and things. But frankly, that's too much work for me. So it's easier to go get. So I got some bagels. I've had some English muffins. But other than that, I have not spent money on food. And, you know, I got some tuna, I guess, at Aldi's, and some beans, canned beans, because sometimes they're easier. And Thrive does have instant beans, but I have not gotten them yet. And they have refried beans that I really want to try, but I haven't gotten them yet. So I have another order on the way. It's going to come on Tuesday. And it will have a lot more fruits and vegetables. It's all fruits and vegetables. There's none of the sauces or anything like these down here that are long term. So none of those in it. Everything is more the consumables. And I'm going to get, I have the beef slices I'm going to get, and then blueberries and bananas and broccoli and the carrots. And I think the carrots are not freeze dried. I think the carrots are actually dehydrated, but I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't know. I don't remember what else there was, but it was really, some spinach. I'm going to get some spinach, partly because the lady across the street said she likes spinach. So I thought I'd get a can and I would, give her some and see what she thinks of it. Because it's nice to have other people's opinions. And my brother, I gave him a bunch of the peaches. I would actually have some peaches left, but I gave my brother a bunch of peaches and some of the strawberries. And he really liked them. So I have 4 brothers. That's one of them. And he's a little bit of a picky eater. So he really liked it, which is a good sign. And that's where we're at right now. Like I said, I do have another one coming on Tuesday. Today's Friday. On Tuesday, I'm going to get the next box. And then I think unless the stuff tastes really bad, I will become a consultant, because it is delicious. And everybody I have that's right, the peaches and the strawberries and the corn, I took some to a lady who is the secretary the receptionist at the physical therapy where my mom goes, and where I've been taking her. And I just sit, while she's in there doing her thing and they're working with her. And I chit chat sometimes with the lady at the desk. And I had told her about this. And so I said, I'll bring you in some. So when I got this on Friday, on Monday, I took these in to her, a bag. She loved them. She absolutely loved them. So I think it's going to sell itself, to be honest. So unless the food I get in this next batch is bad, I plan on becoming a consultant, because, yeah, I want to sell this stuff because I think it's not only good for people, very healthy, but I think it's so convenient that people will want to buy it. So probably by the time this video gets up, you will already know, I will already know that I'm a consultant, and I'll probably put a link somewhere. If I do, there'll be a link down in the bottom, so to let you know where you can go, because you should be able to order from me. If you would like to do that and help me out, that would be great. You'd be able to order the products from me. Or if you live around where I do, I could do a tasting for you, a tasting party. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Once I get the box on Tuesday, I'll probably video undoing it. But then to become a consultant, I have to purchase one of their consultant kits, which the majority of it is food. So I'm looking at it this way. Even if I end up not liking being a consultant, which at this point I'm not sure that would happen. It sounds like it's something that I would enjoy doing. You still got the food. You're not out hardly anything. There's a little bit of price discrepancy, but that's for like the brochures, and you get a nifty apron and stuff like that. So that's what it looks like I'm going to be doing. And if you're a consultant, when you do parties, the person that hosts the party and you get free food depending on how much people purchase. And I think free food sounds good. And then, of course, the consultants also get some money depending on if people book parties or if people will start their own deliveries, automatic deliveries on the site. So I'm still learning on that end, but I've really researched it, and I only have a couple more questions that once I get those answered, I think this is the route I'm going to go. And I'm really anxious to see what happens, because it does seem like the Lord has kind of put me in this position to be able to do this. And I think with my energy levels that fluctuate so much, this might be ideal, because I could push myself to get through a 2-hour party some night, and then I can spend a couple days in bed if I have to afterward. And usually if I pump up on caffeine, I can do that. I don't like using caffeine a lot with my chronic fatigue because it causes bladder issues. I have a very sensitive bladder, and the caffeine is not happy with it. So they kind of fight. So I try not to use too much caffeine, but I do use it sometimes when I need to. Like when I go to my book builders writers group, I usually have some iced tea. But this, I could do it to go to a party to be able to present this stuff, because I already have talked to some people now about it, and I'm excited about it because I think it's good food. It's really good food, and it is so stinking convenient for me. I love the idea of grabbing a handful of this, handful of this, handful of this, put some water in. I got some soup. And it's good soup. Put in a little bit of rice. It's good. So it's better than I cook on my own, okay? So I'm excited. It takes no time at all to do. And I think it's where I'm going to go. I think it's what I'm going to do. So keep me in your prayers, because I really it'd be great to get some income, but it'd also be great to see a lot of people I know who struggle with getting good meals. And that's kind of it. Like my brother, he's divorced, and I don't think he eats very well, and he's got some health issues. So I really want to see him eating well. And I think if he would sit down, when he was eating the strawberries, he goes, "Oh yeah, I could sit here, if I'm watching TV, I'll eat a handful of these." And even if you eat the whole can, there's 30 calories in one serving, a half cup serving, and there's 8 servings. 240 calories in the whole can. Now I realize, it's like $8, $9, maybe 10, I don't remember exactly. But some of the snacks that you get, like, bad snacks, are costing you anyway. So if you would fill up with this, it'd make me feel a lot better. Okay? And to make him a little package with all the stuff in it he needed, and all he had to do was put in water and heat it up. Wow. That would be so nice. That's just good. It makes me feel like there are some things I can do to really help people out. And as a consultant, if I end up getting free food when I do these parties, there's only so much free food I can have, that I need. And if I have extra, what's to keep me from taking a can and donating it to like a food pantry or something? I could see really helping people out, because a lot of problems with people who don't have very much money for food is the food that's not so good for you is really cheap. So you end up buying a lot of that, and it's fast to make. If you give them something like this, it's healthier. It has a whole lot less sodium usually in it than regular canned vegetables. And it's fast and easy. And I could see, you could put a handful of corn in just about anything. And I'm looking forward, I'm going to have some green peas and some green beans later on. I'm looking forward to seeing how those taste just plain, and then maybe make them have those as snacks because they're a very low calorie snack. And I'd like to shed a lot of weight, but it's a whole story. It has to do with the dog and the rebound, the energy that it took to take care of my dog in her last days. And I'm still recuperating from that. So it's how chronic fatigue works. So I have not done much, and I have actually gained quite a bit of weight here. So I would really like to get rid of this and get back to eating more vegetables and fruits. And I think this is going to be a system to help me. So in the last video where I said I think this is going to change my life, I think it might. It's going to change the way I cook. That's for sure. Because when I use this stuff, it's so easy to make something healthy in the same amount of time it was going to take me to make something, like a package from the store that was really high in sodium and had very few vegetables in it. And I can put in a ton of vegetables when I get these. So I'm looking forward to it. And if it can help me financially with pay some of my bills, that also would help change my life. So I'm hoping that's the route we're going. And I'm excited about it. We'll see what the next box entails, and I'll let you guys know. See you later. Thanks for stopping by.